like the search for the Chicago Bears' new head coach has already begun, as the Chicago Bears have officially requested to interview Bills defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears and here to talk about this news with you guys and react to it. All right, so the Bears already are requesting interviews with coaches. Normally, you would think that's a good thing because they got rid of Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, which I was very, very happy about. But it got me thinking, why are the Bears requesting interviews at this point when they haven't even hired a GM? See, you want to hire a GM first and then let him pick the head coach, right? Because that was the whole reason you fired Ryan Pace, is you didn't want to bring in a coach that wasn't okay with Ryan Pace, right? You wanted a fresh start. And now you're looking at coaches, which I haven't even talked about the candidate, which I will in just a second here with Leslie Frazier, and whether or not I think he would make a good head coach. But yeah, like, do what the team in your same city did, right? The Bulls hired Arturas Karnisovas and had him pick the GM and had him pick the coach. So you probably want to do that first. I think the Bears should hire a GM first, then hire a coach. But either which way, let's see. And let's talk about the candidate himself, Leslie Frazier. So Leslie Frazier, a lot of you guys may not know about him. He's the defensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. And it's funny. It's funny because all last offseason, we were talking about the Buffalo Bills assistant coaches as potential hires for the Bears' next head coach. But we were talking about the other side of the football. We were talking about the other side of the football, not the defense side. We were talking about the offensive side with Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll was the guy that we wanted to hire. And now the Bears, in traditional Bears form, go ahead and interview the other side in Leslie Frazier. So Leslie Frazier, what's his resume like, right? What has he done in the NFL? I want to give a credit to Jonathan Wood on Twitter. He covers the Bears for, I think, the Bears blog, and he pulled up a bunch of good information about Leslie Frazier, which I want to share with you guys. So Leslie Frazier was the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings from 2010 to 2013. Okay? 2010 to 2013. In that time, as the head coach, his defense is ranked in order 31st, 14th, and 32nd. Okay? And his records were the following: 3-3 as the interim head coach. All right, so I threw that number out as far as his defense because he only coached for a portion of that season. He was 3-3 as the interim head coach. And then the following year, 3-13. Then he went 10-6. Oh, but that was the Adrian Peterson year. Yeah, you remember AP ran for 2,000 yards, won the MVP. Yeah, he rode his best player to a winning record, which, again, I don't blame him. But, again, that was AP having a incredibly, outlier year. And then back when AP went back to being human, or as human as AP is, 5-10. 5-10, and then he gets fired. So record-wise, not good at all. Leslie Frazier's record as a head coach was awful. And then when we take a look at his defenses, those numbers don't stack up either. Now, again, if you want to pull up the recent numbers here, I will be fully transparent, right? As the Buffalo Bills defensive coordinator since 2017, how has the Bills defense been? Well, this past season, or I guess this season that just ended, the Bills did rank number 1 in terms of points allowed, right? They allowed the least amount of points out of any team in the NFL. The same metric in 2020, finished 14th. 2019, they finished 2nd. 2018, they finished 19th. In 2017, they finished 16th. So a couple of mediocre numbers in there, but of course you like the first and second. So I'm not saying he can't coach defense. But what I'm telling you guys is this seems like very much of a mediocre hire to me. Very mediocre. Because to me, you're taking a look at a guy who you've seen as a head coach has not done very well record-wise. And a lot of you guys have been saying, I want to hire an experienced head coach. We hired one. It was John Fox. That went horribly. I'm not saying that we can't hire somebody with experience, but what I am saying to you is if it comes to candidates like Leslie Frazier and candidates that we've seen what they've done, I'd rather go in a different direction. Matt Nagy finished his head coaching career in Chicago as a winning head coach. Leslie Frazier couldn't even do that, and we can Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy had a winning record as the coach of the Bears at 34-31, I believe. And we fired him because, folks, all that matters is playoff success. Can he get to the playoffs and can he win? Matt Nagy was 0-2. He couldn't do it. So this would be a mediocre hire for me. I'm not a big fan of this. And I'll tell you why I believe the reason this interview was even requested is I believe the Bears, from what I've seen in reports, are working with Bill Polian and Tony Dungy. Bill Polian and Tony Dungy, the GM and head coach of the Indianapolis Colts from back when, again, 2005-ish, around that time. For all those years, when they won the Super Bowl, you guys remember that? So early 2000s, mid-2000s, and they had Leslie Frazier work with them. I think he was a defensive assistant coach. So this is kind of a, hey, I know a guy. Can you go ahead and request an interview with him? I think that's the reason why the McCaskies are doing this right now. So, not a big fan. I think Leslie Frazier would be a mediocre hire, and I think the Bears should keep requesting other candidates and a lot of other ones. So, I'm not too worried at this point. It's just an interview. I think they're going to interview a lot of candidates, but we'll see here. So, let me know what you guys think about Leslie Frazier. I'm not a big fan. I think it's a very, very mediocre hire. Let me know your thoughts down below, as always. Thanks for watching.